Poor Hubert, he just got home from the vet. He was neutered today and he's still a little groggy and he's wearing the collar, but he's just coming out of his grogginess. He just wants to lay around, and that's good. I'll take a look down here where they did the surgery. Now you want to make sure you have a vet that's used to doing surgery on rabbits. Don't take your bunny to just a dog or cat vet who says they would be able to do it, because rabbits have special needs with the anesthesia. It's a little trickier with bunnies. Now, Hubert, he can eat right up till the time he goes to the vet. We've also had it where we've kept food from him for like 20 minutes to half an hour before he goes to the vet. And the reason for that is rabbits sometimes can hold chewed up food in their mouths for a while before they swallow it. But generally, you know, when you take them to the vet, they're not going to rush them right into surgery at that minute that you bring them in. So generally you don't need to withhold any food at all for rabbits. The problem with dogs and cats is they can vomit and can choke, but rabbits cannot throw up, so it doesn't have that problem, and you want to keep food moving through their system. So I usually just, with Eddie Mars, I just took the food away for a half hour before I took him in, but I didn't figure I needed to do that with Hubert because he's going to sit there for a while. The ride up to the vet takes a half hour, so it didn't really matter. But here he is. I say, poor Hubert. I said, you got the worst over. Now, his area there where they did the surgery, there are no stitches that are external stitches. There are internal stitches, and they're going to dissolve, so there's nothing that he can pull out. But the collar is so that he doesn't irritate the area by licking it and grooming it. Okay, another thing is I had one bale that had softer hay, and I put that in his box mostly, and just a little bit of the more rigid hay on one end, so that those hay stems are not going to be poking him where he's tender. He also has meloxicam, which your vet should give you some kind of painkiller for your bunny for post-surgery. So he's just going to have meloxicam once a day. And as you can see, he's still coming out of it. He's very groggy yet. How you doing, baby? Another thing you want to check, I had one vet tech one time put the collar on rather tight. You want to be able to get two fingers between the collar and your bunny. So make sure it's not too tight. Bunnies have very delicate necks. They're not like dogs or cats. Their necks are very delicate. So I'm just going to stay here and keep an eye on him today. I don't have anywhere to go this afternoon. I scheduled my day so I could be home here with him. Have somebody around when your pet comes out of surgery, whether it be a dog, a cat, or a rabbit. Try to have someone who can take off part of a day so that they can keep an eye on things. Okay? He should be coming out of this in a couple of hours, but right now he's just kind of very groggy yet. And Bunny Joe is checking him out. Bunny Joe, what you doing? Checking out Hubert. Back to Hubert. We want to keep him so his nose is very clear, so he gets Gets air coming in. We don't want you don't want any blankets up against his nose or anything like that. You want to make sure that he can breathe easily. I'm talking about adopting rabbits. Here's Miss Lydia. To adopt her, her fee was $25, and she was already spayed. And she was from a humane society around here that spays and neuters the rabbits. So once you compare a $25 adoption fee for a spayed rabbit, and I'm going to show you Hubert's bill just to get an idea of what it costs if you buy a rabbit and then you need to spay and neuter them on your own. Okay, so the bill for the bunny, we've got Hubert down here. They're saying he's about 2 years and 1 month. They said he was probably between 1 and 2 years old. His weight is 7.5 pounds. Now, sometimes the anesthetic depends on the weight of your rabbit, because the bigger the rabbit, they need more anesthetic to put him to sleep, just like a dog or a cat. Cats are not too different, you know, but dogs, like, it would be a lot less cost for the anesthetic for a tiny dog versus something like a Great Pyrenees or something. So let's just look at the costs here so that you can see. And this is actually a clinic that I found. The other clinic that we go to is very expensive. It's more than twice as much as this. And this clinic, they do a lot of rabbit surgeries, so I felt really comfortable with them doing it. But you got the actual cost of the surgeries, $200. Okay, we have a $25 for the buprenorphine injection. Now these are all the different things that are needed for the surgery. I'm not sure, dexdometer injection, I'm not sure what that's for. But these are different injections that they give them. Meloxicam injection here. The meloxicam is an anti-inflammatory and a painkiller. And they gave the injection. And now I have the medication also, which I will give to him starting tomorrow, the day after surgery. But going down here, a collar. Well, I wish I would have brought a collar. I had a blue collar, and I didn't tell them. But if you have a collar from another pet, and for a rabbit, it should be a soft collar. It should not be one of the rigid plastic ones, but it should be one of the ones that's made of a kind of a cloth type thing. So that was $20, and I shouldn't have had to spend that. I should have remembered to tell them that I had a collar and bring it, but I forgot. And then the waste fee is for the needles. And then here's meloxicam at the bottom. And $37.49. That's the painkiller, anti-inflammatory, which he's going to get for quite a few doses after his surgery while he's at home to keep him comfortable. So we come down to the bottom here, and I paid $100 up front. The whole cost for his surgery was $390. So say $400, and that's a neuter. So if you have a spay, the spay is going to be more. And around here, this clinic is one of the more reasonable clinics. There's not too many clinics that do surgery on rabbits or even see rabbits. But the exotic vet around here, the ones that are the exotic vets, they charge a lot more. This is mostly a dog and cat clinic, but they do see smaller animals like rabbits and guinea pigs. Okay, so you can see why I say, why would anyone buy a rabbit at a pet store? It's just got to be ignorance. And then, you know, somebody has a bunny that's not neutered, not spayed, and the rabbit's marking things around the house, and pretty soon they're dumping the rabbit because they don't like the smell and they don't like what the rabbit's doing. You know, anyone can save up enough money for a spay neuter. If you saw my other videos about how you cut little junk off your grocery bill and quit eating all the junk food and all the crap that you don't need to eat, cut back on a lot of things that add up really fast to several $100s. But the easiest thing to do is just find a rabbit that's already spayed and neutered And if you pay $100 adoption fee for the rabbit, you've already saved several $100s because you don't have to have that done. Now, it doesn't mean that just because you pay an adoption fee that's it. You know, you have to always be prepared for any vet emergencies and should have a fund or savings put aside for vet bills if your rabbit gets sick, just like with any pet. Okay, first make sure you have a big syringe like this. This one, I cut the end off of it. It had a longer tip on it. Maybe you can get one from your vet, or maybe you can order one. But look at the size of it. And it's good to have a plunger like this. The ones that have the little rubber tipped plungers, the rubber tips get worn out and they don't work anymore. This one's really good because it slides. It's just one big piece of a plastic plunger. Okay, the next thing here, I'm going to use this stuff. Now, if you saw another video I did, if you have bags of rabbit food, they always end up with the powder. You can put the rabbit pellets through a sieve and get some of this that's left in there, and don't waste it. You can feed it to your rabbit just with some water in a kind of a soupy paste, or in this case I'm going to use it here because I don't have any critical care at home here, and I sometimes do, but right now I don't. And then I'm going to add unsweetened applesauce. Use the unsweetened kind that has no sugar in it. And then I'm going to bring it over and put a little water in it next. Okay, and I've added enough water. You want it so it's not thick and sticky, but like really goopy oatmeal, watery oatmeal maybe you'd say. That extra water is going to be good for him too. And the applesauce has a lot of fiber in it as well. So what I want is to be able to draw it up in this syringe easily. And you really need a big syringe like this. Okay, let's go feed Hubert and get something going through his system. Now, Hubert is a rabbit that has not been used to being handled. You could tell he's a little jumpy boy. So what I'm going to do, like I say with all your bunnies, wrap them up like a burrito here in a big towel. Get that in the back so they can't back out. And here he is. All right, Hubert. And we're going to pull this back so we can see his face. Where are you? He's in there. There he is. And you're not feeling so well yet, are you? Okay, this is a messy job. We got to put a floor in here. The old floor was taken out, so it's just the plywood. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. I can wash it off. But for a bunny, you want to kind of grab him gently with your hand, like this. You don't want to pull his neck up. Now, you remember bunnies have very delicate necks, so you're just going to kind of lift his mouth. He can't go backwards. And I'm going to put a little bit in here, and it's going to fall out because that's the way it goes. But now see, he's got that little applesauce in it, and that's good. So we're going to make a big mess on the towel and the floor. We're going to try to get some food into him here. Come on. Chew it up, Hubert. Let's go. You got to have some. I would do a little bit at a time in the syringe. Don't give him too much at one time. You want your ears out, Hubert? There, how's that? I'm kind of surprised he's not recovering faster because he's pretty young. He was pretty robust, but he was pretty scared of going there, so I think it's a lot of stress. Here we go with some more. Get it in there. Come on, swallow it up. I'm gonna get a little bit down you, right? Bunny Joe, get out of his water. Okay, here we go, Hubert, a little bit more. And if you see him doing that, then he's eating it, okay? If he's moving his jaws, there we go. So I'm just going to continue on with a little bit at a time. Give him a little time to swallow it in between. And I said it's a messy job because half goes in his mouth and half's going on the towel and the floor. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and try to feed him as much of this as he'll take.